In this video, I'm not just gonna explain to you and show you how to manipulate early and late spawns. This video is going to be also in-depth guide, so you have a full understanding how and why late spawns are a thing, and also this video is going to be a feedback for the developers with my suggestions and critiques. So let's start from the beginning. How do spawns work in Arc Raiders? These numbers right here is just the example, by the way, so don't take those as a holy grail. Let's say that the game is gonna spawn 11 players on the start of the match, and we are talking about the solo queue right now. The game is gonna do its best to spread those 11 players as far as possible from each other. The players are gonna start moving from the edges of the map towards the middle. When the certain threshold, certain distance happens, the game is gonna slowly keep spawning the new players in. The new players are gonna keep spawning into the raid until it hits 21. And after that, let's say that somebody dies. Just because that person died, the new person is gonna spawn in again to replace it, and that will keep happening until 30 unique players ran through the map. I'm gonna repeat one more time, this is just the example so you understand how it works, right? So the game is gonna do its best to spread the people, game will keep spawning the new players until it hits the certain cap, and even when that certain cap of the players is met, if somebody dies or extracts, during the certain time it will keep spawning the new players until the certain threshold of the unique players per match is hit. Now let's talk about the issues of the late spawns. The most obvious one is loot fairness. People that did spawn early will always hit those sweet popular loot spots first, and on top of that, they're gonna also hit loot rooms first. It happened multiple times that I went inside of the raid with the key, I spawned in late, I go check the loot room is already looted. And those moments are pretty much the most frustrating ones. Because you're sacrificing your safe pocket for the key, you spawn in late, it's already looted. And the another, even bigger issue is trials. We are reaching the stage where the trials became extremely competitive, so you're gonna dump disgusting amounts of the gear on you to achieve as high score as possible for the trials. And if you spawn in late, it is not just that you got completely denied with trials, it is just not worth to do trials 18 minutes left in the raid, you have to start as soon as possible, but you're also risking insane amount of the loot for absolutely nothing. And you have to leave and reset as soon as possible. So from my point of view, trials are a way bigger issue than the actual loot. With that said, are late spawns bad? No, they're not bad. Because they are giving way more than you think they do. And if you're thinking that the late spawns are bad, trust me, it would be even worse without of them. And now, I'm gonna give you the examples. Let's go with the example that the game spawns 21 players right on the beginning of the raid, and that's it. This kind of a system directly encourages and promotes spawn rushing, where you are forced to fight the spawns for most of the fucking raid, and in a moment when you're done with fighting, people that did spawn in the middle already looted everything and left. So that's the first downside. The second downside is, let's even say that PvP will not even happen. Let's say that you will not even kill each other right on the beginning of the raid. People that did spawn in the middle of the map will get all of the loot. So, the same mindset of you, oh, I spawned late, this is a dead raid, that same mindset you will apply with if you spawned on the edge of the map versus in the middle of the map. So the only two scenarios of the PvP with this system will be right on the beginning of the raid, spawn rushing and fighting around not that good points of interest. Nobody wants to fight on the edges of the map. Nobody wants to fight on the outskirts of the map. You want to fight around the actual structures and the actual layouts of the map, not around the trees. And the second one will be extractions. That's it. With spawning 21 player right on the beginning of the map, the player count from 21 would drop on 10 in the first couple of minutes because of the spawn rushing. And then from 10 to 5 in the next couple of minutes because of a third party. So in the first 5 to 7 minutes, the player count will drop from 21 players to 5. And you're gonna have 5 players playing the dead raid for the next 25 minutes. Do you want that? When the game is spawning players in the waves, players are constantly killing and dying in the middle of the map, and they are constantly attracting the new waves of the players to the certain areas. And that would be completely lost if we do not have late spawns. Because with the late spawns, as I already said, people will just be killing each other on the edges of the map. You will not bother with rushing from this side to the another side because you have seen the flare. And even in the moment when you reach from one side to the other, that player will be long gone. Raids are gonna be dead as hell without of the late spawns. And on top of that, when you're having fixed spawns, everyone spawns at one time, I can guarantee you that you will know that when the raid timer hits 17 minutes, that there is gonna be players rushing from one side of a broken dam to the another. You will know the perfect timings of where people will be at a certain times, and that is boring and repetitive. And it completely ruins the vibe of the open world. With the late spawns, you never know where somebody will be. And it is opening the window of the PvP on every single corner of the map at any time. I do not know if you are paying attention or not, but in the Ark Raiders, you're PvPing everywhere. Everywhere is a PvP zone. And I think that people do not appreciate that. Not even close as they should. And the main question should not be, should they remove the late spawns? The main question should be how to improve the late spawns. Because they're contributing way more than they are taking away. My suggestion for the developers to do is to add the second phase of every single match. Right after the last wave of the players spawned, there should be a second phase of the match, of some kind of a random dynamic event. I do have a couple of suggestions, but I'm gonna leave the ideas for the developers. But a thing that I think that they should do is literally adding the second phase of the match, as I said, right after the last wave of the players did spawn. So when that event of the second phase happens, people that did spawn late will not be discouraged because they feel left out. They're gonna feel encouraged because they have the opportunity to attend that event because they spawned late, and they're gonna be rewarded for it. And on top of that, people that spawned early in the match will have the choice. Do they wanna attend the event also, or do they have a perfect time to extract? And the second suggestion that is way easier to implement is giving us keychains. Currently, when you're building your loadout and you decide, oh, I want to go do the Blue Gate communication tower, you put that into the save pocket, you go in, you spawn in late, you reach that location, the doors are already opened. First off, that key completely denied your save pocket, and you will not remove that mid-raid. Second off, somebody else denied the loot room, so you literally wasted your time. My suggestion is that they should add on the augments keychains, where certain augments have one keychain and the other augments might have, I do not know, 2 or even 3. And I think that spawning in late with having, I do not know, 3 different keys inside of your loadout that are safe, just like a safe pockets, safe keychains, right, are gonna give you the option, in case if you spawn late, with giving us the option to have keychain with the exclusive slots just for the keys, it is gonna open the options for the people that did spawn late. Surely, people that spawned early will also have multiple keys on them, but how much loot can you even carry out? How much loot do you actually even need? My suggestion is to add even more locked rooms, even more options to open. Because it is way easier and way safer to open the loot rooms when you spawn in late than when you're spawning on the beginning of the match. So those are my 2 suggestions how to fix the late spawns. With that out of the way, let's talk about the spawn manipulation. Problem is, as I said on the beginning of the video, trials. Trials are the biggest issue and the biggest problem. and I did min-max my ways around how to spawn early as a solo. There are two different types of the spawning late. Sometimes you're gonna spawn late because you have to, and then sometimes you're gonna spawn in late because there is not enough of the players. So you cannot completely manipulate it, but you can lower down the chances of spawning in late. What I mean by that is that if you're playing with a crossplay off, there is way less of a people that are queued in certain match. And the second one is, for example, if it's 3 a.m. in the Europe, there is way less people on the European servers, right? So you're reducing the pool of the people that are queuing into the same match as you. So those are two. The second one is when you're playing less popular maps. For example, right now when I open this screen, there is way less people that are gonna be queued in the regular Blue Gate than in the Night Raid. Or for example, there is gonna be way less people queued in the Spaceport than in the hidden bunker. So the concentration of the people is way higher here than, for example, in the dam for the Husk Graveyard, right? So if you wanna increase your chances of spawning in early, you wanna play with a crossplay on the popular servers, whoever is awake, and you wanna play popular maps. And again, complete opposite, if you wanna spawn in late, you're gonna do literally opposite that I just did. I also want to add up that this is based on my experience in the Arc Raiders for the past 200 hours. I was fiddling with the options at a certain periods of time as a solo, and this trick works for me. And also, I want to add up that my suggestions to improve the late spawns haven't even touched trials, because I genuinely think that they should not touch late spawns because of the trials. They should improve the late spawns just as I said, and then they should revamp the trials completely. Because trials are a standalone issue that is extremely noticeable when you spawn in late. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, subscribe to the notifications on. Here is another video if you want to check out. Thank you guys for watching and see ya in the next one. Eroctic out.